Good evening. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 8, DJI Drone Ban Coming. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. We got a boatload of people already here, ready to rock and roll. Akarasho, Jay Bird, John Olson, let's see, Casey Crime Fighter, Scott Nadeau, let's see, John's here, Flying Flynn Media. Who else we got? Let's see who else. Art's here tonight. Okay, all right. Got a pretty good house last night. Got a pretty good showing in the house. First of all, continued well wishes to Captain Ray. I saw him. He was on Drone Nation last night. Take it easy, Ray. I know you want to get out there and enjoy it, and it was great to see you flying your drone. But follow your doctor's orders. Take it easy. That's my advice. I remember my dad had to have his hips replaced, and so he started out slow, but he came on like gangbusters, and that's my best advice. Start out slow, take it easy. Things like swelling can happen, so you gotta just kind of like really pace yourself. You're anxious because you mostly feel better, but you want to get going. So, but yeah, all in all, it was good to see you on the show last night. Glad you're feeling better. Just take your time, follow your doctor's orders, and you'll be back out there. We want you nice and healthy for the South Florida drone meetup. Okay. All right. Let's see what else oh yeah. Other housekeeping, Tundra Nation Basics. Okay. We're going to be premiering this weekend. All right. I'm going to have my welcome video out there and my first video, and I'm working on 2 other videos to get them out there. I have 3 shorts. One of them is out there already. Welcome, Dr. Ted. Good to see you. I have three shorts out there. I'm going to be filming a couple of more. I'm going to film one more. I got another one. It's ready to be produced, so I'm going to work on that. So that's coming out this weekend. I'm going to drop links in Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group and page. Please get out there, subscribe, like, comment on these videos. I'm starting from scratch here, guys. I need your help. I need to hit it on the get it started on the right foot, so to speak. So again, that's starting this weekend. Look forward to that. I'll be letting everybody know. So, don't hesitate. Get out there, comment, like, subscribe. I really, really, really appreciate it. I already got 299, 300 views. I put a short out there. I didn't even intend it. I wanted to I was just going to mark it unlisted so it wouldn't be out there. But before I know it, I had 299, 300 views on it, and I didn't even promote it. So I'm expecting great things on that channel. So welcome, Stephanie. Good to see you tonight. So please do get out there and do that. I'm trying to think of what other housekeeping. Oh yeah, I'm recovering from fall number 2. Okay, well, let's say fall number 2. Fall number 1 was last year. Fall number 2 this year. Kneecap, shin, and ankle. I went to get because my shins were bothering me on Friday. I kind of gave you an update Tuesday. My shin was bothering me, so Friday I went to our orthopedic urgent care, which is fantastic. $60 copay. X-rayed my tibia, fibula. Everything was fine with there. It's just really swollen. The swelling's gone down. I found out I can take Advil liquid gels as long as I eat enough food ahead of time. It doesn't bother my stomach. So, and I've been, believe it or not, you know what I'm using to ice it down? I get large bags of frozen corn from Publix, put them in gallon plastic bags, put it over there. We never eat the corn. That's corn that'll never be eaten, but that's corn that really helps because it molds around your leg, which is really well. And we first found out about it years ago when my older son, he had a compound fracture of his right leg near the ankle. And that's one of the things they recommended, get a frozen bag of peas or corn to do that. And boy, oh boy, that really made a difference for him. And that's made a big difference for me as well through the years. So that's a great tip. And it's better than I purchased some other things on Amazon. They're okay. But that corn, it'll last a good 20 minutes, which is what you're supposed to use it for. So anyway, that's getting to be on the mend. My knees hurting me less, my shins hurting me less, and my toes returning to a normal color. So that's all good. I'm getting a lot of housekeeping out of the way here. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. one of the other things I wanted to mention, and I don't think Richard was in here. I don't, Richard, if you're here, chime in. If not, he sent us an email. FEMA is having a sale, and I'm going to drop it down in the comments later. I was going to do that. I ran out of time before the show. FEMA X8 Pro with the controller. It's on sale. I think it's a 700 with $45 off. I think it's like $745 or something like that. It's a pretty good deal. So you're getting both the controller and the X8 Pro. And I'll drop a link for that. It's it's from the United States, so you don't have to deal with a mothership. It's a distributor here. So, and I think Richard said he was going to order one. And Richard, if you're in the chat, let us know how it goes. Because I'm real curious. Right now, I'm a little short of funds. So aren't we all? I'm a little short of funds. So otherwise, I would probably kind of jump on that right now, because that sounds like a great deal. Okay, and that is the FEMA X8 Pro with the controller. It's an updated version of the controller. So we'll see. Stay tuned for all that. Okay, got a lot to talk about. Welcome, Greg. Good to see you tonight. Sergeant Rock, good to see you tonight. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the drone ban. That's coming up. That's coming up a little bit later. Several things here. Let's see here. Okay. What are we going to... Okay. All right. I'm going to share this first article here. Okay. Autel EVO Max drones receive C2 class certificate by EASA, and that's a European Aviation Safety Agency. As of January 1st, the C2 class label on EVO Max enables drone operations in the open category's A2 subcategory, flying close to people, provided you have completed a successful online training called the A2 Certificate of Competency. In addition, the EVO Max drones can operate in the A3 subcategory, flying far from people. Telerobotics says it worked with App Plus, a notified body for certifying drones under EU and 2019-945 to make sure all requirements of Class C2 are tested and are achieved. You can visit the App Plus website here to verify it. And here's procedures on how to do that. And I know, I do have a number of you faithful subscribers who watch us, who are over in Europe and the UK, and this will definitely be some great news for you if you have an Autel EVO Max. That's something that has been a long time coming, so that's fantastic. Captain Ray, welcome. Good to see you tonight. So that's some good news for you guys. All right. Let's see, what do we got next here? Now, DJI drones have been used to help firefighting, and I found a great article, and this was on Drone XL. And again, everything that you're seeing here is out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group. I didn't have time to get it out on the page. Warren's firefighting future soars with DJI drone technology. Warren, Michigan has invested nearly $80,000 in advanced DJI drone technology. A significant investment marks pivotal turn in how firefighting and emergency operations are conducted, offering a glimpse into the future of public safety in the region. Okay, new horizon for firefighting efforts. Okay, DJI M30 with thermal camera is what they're using here. Well, I have DJI Matrice 30. Okay, they have two of those. DJI Mavic 3, DJI Mini 4 Pro, and DJI Avata. Okay, the move, enthusiastically endorsed by the mayor and city council, aims to enhance the safety of both residents and firefighters by enabling remote assessment of dangerous situations. Okay. And you can read additional information about that there, but that's good news. And that's good to see that. And I know we're going to talk about the drone ban, but that's good to see that cities and municipalities are going forward and they're recognizing the incredible potential they have to help save lives with these drones. And these drones do save lives. Okay. I know Romeo Dersher, when he was with DJI, he would keep account of that and have a running tab and repost that out there all the time. And I think DJI still does that. And that's a real testimony to these drones and their capabilities. not only in firefighting, but in search and rescue, lost people, also animals if they're lost as well too. It really has gone, great lengths. I mean, what they've used them in Australia to spot sharks. I mean, it's really, they've really done a great effort here, and I'm glad to see some communities and municipalities picking up on this. That's a good thing, and I think that that's a great investment for them, for that community, for up in Warren, Michigan. All right. Now, and this was an article on Drone DJ, and I did not go out, or Drone XL, and I did not go out there and verify this. So, correct me if I'm wrong here, but DJI Mavic 3 Pro special offer on Amazon, $100 discount today. This was on February the 16th, so it was a couple of days ago. Okay, it was 4 days ago. I don't know. They had an additional $100 discount on it. I had a very busy day today, so unfortunately, I couldn't get out there to do that. But if you're looking to save $100, I mean, that's fantastic. Anytime you can, $10 it used to be, but you see 100, and that kind of gets your attention here. So if you're looking to get a Mavic 3 Pro, check this out. This is on Amazon. This article again is on Drone XL, and you can go ahead and find it out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group. Check it out. It may still be available. I don't know if you guys know that. So, or I don't know if it's still out there. Okay. So, and our best wishes to Dr. Ted. He's recovering, and I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry, Dr. Ted. I hope you're doing well. I hope your recovery's going well. Hope you can get together with Marcus soon and maybe go out when the weather's nice. Go out and fly some drones and have some fun. So, but I hope you're doing. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well and have a quick, speedy recovery here. Okay. All right. So there's a $100 discount there. Check that out. It's on Amazon. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. While we're here, I'm going to see if it comes up. And let's look. I'm going to bring the article up here. 3788.99. Okay, that deal is off right now. I just want to let you guys know that. So my bad. I probably should have just clicked the live link. I got my pneumatic arm in my chair is my chair has definitely been on its last legs. All right. There we are. Okay. All right. So that deal is off. So you can forget about that, unfortunately. But Amazon is a great place to go and buy drones, especially because of their return policy. That's one of the things that I will tell you. All right. Let's move on. Let's move on here. This is another article from Drone XL. And again, this is out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group. DJI Mini 4 Pro, one problem, all right? DJI Mini 4 Pro, great upgrade with one problem. And, it's a good article, and it talks a lot about it. And, as far as I'm concerned, is an absolutely fantastic drone. But it's kind of redundant what the article says. With advanced features, could very well hold the title on the road. However, it's not without its shortcoming. Due to its lightweight design, the Mini 4 Pro's wind resistance has limitations that could potentially cause noticeable movement in the footage when filming is close to a subject. Despite this, it remains a powerful tool for adventurers and content creators. It offers unparalleled portability without compromising on image quality, night mode capabilities, and creative shooting options, okay? The drone's obstacle avoidance feature, though reliable and good lighting, it should be used with caution in challenging environments such as dimly lit caves or thick foliage, okay? And this is no surprise, okay? And I kind of want to stop right here. It's a good article, but I want to stop right here. And I think you guys know as well as I do with a drone, the mini drones, okay? There's a certain point where you don't even think about taking it up, all right? if you're getting 20, 25, 30 mile an hour winds, okay, I'd probably take the Air 3 up. I'd probably take the Mavic 3 Pro up or the Mavic 3, but I wouldn't take a mini drone up because it's going to get pushed around. Even with the wind resistance characteristics that DJI advertises, okay, which are very good, okay. So, I take the article, no disrespect to the author, but, just to let them know, it's something it's kind of those of us that have been around drones, and I think all you guys in the chat here, and Johnny, welcome. I didn't welcome you, so I want to make sure to welcome you. And Michael Wright, you're here too. So, it's kind of a foregone conclusion with us that have been around drones and have been flying them for a while, that when it's a really windy day, okay, if you want to take your Air 3 or your Mavic 3 up, you'll probably do okay. A mini drone, no, you're not going to do okay. And it's just I don't, as you know, and cross my fingers, I've had very good luck with my drones as far as, taking good care of them. And I want to continue to do that. And I don't take chances. And I would say this, if you want to take a chance with your Mini 4 Pro, go ahead. I hope you have Care Refresh or insurance on it, because, a good gust of wind can come along, pancake it, or just, it's milk toast. And, it's going to do what it can to try to return to home, but it's probably not going to make it. So just kind of some food for thought with that. I mean, it's a good article. It brings out a lot of good points of the Mini 4 Pro. The other thing it talked about was the obstacle avoidance sensing in low light conditions, such as like if you're going through a bunch of trees and there's a lot of shade or a cave or things like that, or in the evening, these are things that you kind of take for granted as well too, that that those obstacle avoidance sensors are dependent upon light. And that's how they do their thing. They do their thing with light on there. Yes, thank you, Jay Bird. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is. Quick Cat, welcome. Good to see you tonight. Just food for thought. It is it's my one of my two drones right now. I have the Air 3 and I have the Mini 4 Pro, and as long as it's not a high windy day, I'll take that up all day long. I don't have any problem with that. Now conversely for me, like when we went up to Ohio in December, our focus was mostly on, I would say 100% on family. And I did not bring any drones up with me at that point in time. But, one of the things that I wanted to say on that score is, if I would have brought a drone, I'd have brought an Air 3 up, because I know this time of year, I've lived in Ohio most of my life, over 30 years. Okay. And I know this time of year up there, it's windy. All right. It's just a given. Okay. The winter months are windy. March is coming up, with the temperature changes and spring coming, and it's even more windy because the earth, it's uneven heating of the earth's surface is what causes wind. That's its textbook definition. So, I know that. And I know that if I go up there, I would probably want to take the Air 3. Just to let you guys know on all that. Okay. All right. Bob Casey is here. Welcome, Bob. And Mad Props Media, welcome. It's good to see you guys. Drone Guy 42, welcome. Okay. Aha, Michael, congratulations. Okay. You've got to let us know. As soon as you find out. Hope you have a healthy grandchild, and hope I assume your daughter. I don't know if it's your daughter or your daughter-in-law. Hope everybody does well through all that. You want a healthy baby and a healthy mom, and we'll say some prayers in that regard. So do keep us posted on that. It's a very exciting time. Trust me. Absolutely. Trust me. Your daughter. Okay, Michael. Well, thoughts and prayers, safe labor and delivery, healthy baby and healthy mom. That's always it's the most incredible blessing on this earth for those of you that are grandparents, and that. Okay. There ain't nothing that's better. Well, except, I'll just say this. Okay. It is just an incredible feeling to be a grandparent. It's indescribable. Absolutely indescribable. Okay. All right. Got another article here, and this is from our good friend Sean from Air Photography. Okay. Let me go ahead and share the screen here. All right. DJI Action 4 long-term review. Okay. And we all know Sean from Air Photography. Just absolutely fantastic channel. One of my favorite guys on YouTube. Besides doing drones, he does GoPros, he does the Osmo Action, he does the Pocket 3. Fantastic reviews. He just does such a great job. Sean, if you're watching, kudos to you. You've done a fantastic job. And again, this is a good long-term review of the Action 4. Okay. Now, and I would highly advise going ahead and watching his video because he goes into detail on this. But connecting the DJI Mic 2 via Bluetooth. There you go. There's one of the things right there. I mean, over my old Osmo Action. Okay. I mean, seriously, how can you beat that? Okay. You have an incredible camera, but you want that audio to match. And that was when the DJI Action 1 or DJI Action came out. Okay, that was one of the big knocks against it was the sound and the sound quality. And they finally made some options to be able to do that. I used a Rode system, and it served its purpose. It's worked well. But connecting the DJI mic via Bluetooth, wow, that's a game changer right there in and of itself. It just does such a fantastic job with that. You cannot beat that. Absolutely cannot beat that. Okay. And he says one of those reasons is we can now connect the microphone directly to the Osmo Action 4 via Bluetooth. The DJI Mic 2 is fully available. And in my opinion, this has really been a game changer, as I just said, okay? No more having to connect a receiver to it, which can be beneficial for many different reasons, okay? It says if you're a moto vlogger, you're going to be filming on perhaps a little bit of light, mist, or rain. You don't have to worry about having any of your ports exposed, and it's just so simple and convenient. Okay. Some people worried Bluetooth audio was going to be problematic, and I can say I've recorded several videos for YouTube using only the camera, the Action 4, and the Mic 2 transmitter, and I've had no issues at all. Performed flawlessly every time, and that's sometimes recording for half an hour or 45 minutes at a time. It's such a clean, simple, streamlined way to capture video. Okay. Interference in some scenarios. Now, that said, because it's Bluetooth connection, it's susceptible to interference. If you take a look at this video I'm going to play here, I was recording for a YouTube video. I was launching the Mini 4 Pro. As soon as the drone went up in the air, there was some interference, and you could hear the audio was cutting in and out. Okay. And again, here in this shot, you can see when I was walking away from the camera, the Bluetooth was kind of cutting in and out. And, of course, my body was between the transmitter and the camera. But if I were using the receiver at the time, most likely that would not have happened, especially being that close to the camera, okay? So definitely good rule of thumb, good practice. If you're going to be using just the transmitter connected directly to your Action 4, make sure you start a backup recording. And that way, you're always going to have a backup audio track. And in some situations, it's definitely a good idea to use a receiver if you have one, if you bought the whole kit. In other words, if you bought the Mic 2, you want to use the receiver with that. And if you don't, hit the record button on the DJI Mic 2 because, as you know, it records all that audio to it. And I got to bring my chair up. I'm sorry about this, guys. All right. You got to, it makes a whole lot of sense, okay? Now, he did a review for an e-bike, traveled light with the Action 4, and there's a number of accessories for the Action 4 right there. So there's a lot of great accessories for it. I purchased mine, and I got to get mine fired up. I just literally did not have time to do that yet. And I purchased the Action 4 case for it as well. So I'm looking forward to do that. And, one of the things that I went ahead and several things why I ended up getting it. And I think my first reason is, for me, I wanted something that I was going to get, the audio was huge, and it was big for me. And I'm never too far away from my camera. And the other thing is, and here is Mr. Ron Brown. How are you, sir?
Hello, Bill. How are you today?
We're doing good. We're talking about Sean's long-term review of the Action 4 right now.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah, and he did a great job on it, as he always does. And and I kind of nailed it on the head right away. I mean, the sound capabilities with having the mic 2 via Bluetooth on this is just fantastic. And he also pointed out too, if you have the whole set, use the transmitter as well. He said, that'll help out in case there's some type of interference.
Yes, yeah. He did mention that the transmitter doesn't fit as flush as the one from the mic 1, but it still works.
Yes. I agree. So all in all, it's a great review. I really like what he had to say on that 10-bit color without D-Log on the Action 4. Action 4 has good white balance. And
yeah, I mean, as far as I know, this is the only one with that white balance sensor on the front.
Exactly. And then see, there's a picture of it on an Avata.
Oh yeah,
which is interesting. So all in all, I was very impressed with this. And again, that article is out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group. Definitely, you want to go check it out and watch Sean's video, because Sean always does a great job with that, and he really goes into detail on this. And and this is one of those cases again, Ron, where people are talking about the price. Well, it was on sale when I got mine, which was fantastic, but there's a lot of value for the dollar with the Action 4. There's no question.
Oh yeah, and it competes favorably with its competition. And Sean, of course, has the Hero 12 and the Insta360 Ace Pro, the main competition. And I think generally this beats the other two in the price point.
Yes,
as well as in other ways too.
I agree 100% on that.
Yeah. And even if you think the other ones have better video, I think the other features, a lot of them you just mentioned, the Action 4 has, that may even override some of the, the video quality that the other ones have. And I'm not saying it's the other ones are better. I'm just saying if you think, say, the Hero 12 or the Ace Pro has better video, you still have to factor in all those things like you said with the audio and all that other stuff. For 10-bit.
For sure. One of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about tonight was, and there's no article on this, but I watched a couple of beginner videos for the Avata, and I'm impressed with it, and I'm really giving it some strong consideration here. And I wanted to throw this out to you and Marcus when he joins as well too. Okay, the first thing that I have to ask after watching, this guy put together a fantastic beginner's video. He has like 380,000 views on it. Really just a great job. And he goes over both the hand controller and the regular controller. What, in your opinion, is better for the Avata, the hand controller or
the Motion 2?
The motion controller?
Motion 2 comes with the Avata.
Okay, that's better. That's better than the regular one.
Well, and it also works with the DJI. I think it's called the FPV controller too. I have both. I don't really have a favorite. I mean, I guess the Motion is the easiest one for people that have never flown a drone like this before to use.
Okay.
Because it, it's intuitive. It doesn't require a lot of, controls and buttons and whatever. But then from the flip side, if you're really going to miss the sticks, again, I'm one of those rare people. I'm going to tell you, I like both. I don't really have a particular favor, but but absolutely, you do not need to spend the extra couple $100 to get the FPV controller unless you plan on flying acro or manual, whatever you want to call it.
Manual, yeah.
Do not do that with the Motion 2 that comes with it in the box with the Avata.
Okay. And that's one of the things, in looking at it and looking at his review, okay, he demonstrated both and he showed both on there. One of the things that he brought up was on the regular, I'll call it, the lack of better term, the regular controller, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said, you don't want the left joystick, you don't want it to be in the center, okay? And you have to go in, remove the back cover off and adjust the screw. So it will not stay in the middle. Okay.
Bill, that's only if you're flying acro or manual, whatever you want to call it. That if you're just flying in normal sport mode, you want that stick.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
and he showed how to do that. This is how detailed this review was. He did such a good job. One of the other things that I had a question about was, okay, now he was wearing glasses. He took his glasses off, and I know there's an incredible adjustments for you. Okay, I know, wearing glasses. How was your adjustment to that? Did you have any problem with
Yeah,
your
well, I mean,
vision?
I have the Integra goggles, which are the ones that come with. It doesn't have the adjustable diopter. It comes with basically diopter lenses. So all I did was figure out what my prescription was, and then put the diopters in that matched my prescription. And Bill, I could see better out of the goggles than I can in my glasses. Because
Yeah,
again, it's just a matter of if you know what your prescription is, you just put that diopter in it. And of course, why some people think that's bad. If I would have handed these goggles to somebody else, of course they wouldn't be able to see out if they didn't, unless they had the same prescription as me, they couldn't just adjust it. So that's a downside. But nobody else ever uses my goggles but me. So that's a
yeah.
non-issue for me.
Now the goggles themselves. Okay, what do you think is better? The goggles that come with them now, or the Integra goggles?
Well, I mean, I think you could order the Explorer combo comes with the Integra, and the other combo, which name escapes me, it comes with the goggles too. And the goggles too are supposedly better. They have the adjustable diopters, and there's a couple other things that I can't remember that make them the superior goggles. But the downside is they do not. You have to have your phone connected to get the GPS for the remote ID.
Okay.
So with
Okay.
the Integra, not only is the battery built into strap, but they have GPS built in, so you do not need to be anchored to your phone to fly with a remote ID. And speaking of remote ID, there's Marcus Crawford.
How you doing?
We're talking
Hey,
about your favorite drone, the DJI Avata, and the headset and everything like that. But I think now we got Marcus in here, Bill. Billy Kyle put out an interesting video today where he flew. He didn't fly the Avata, but he flew a DJI drone with the Apple. Say it, Marcus.
The Apple Vision Pro. Now, what was interesting about that, Ron, was you guys saw how he was able to. I don't know. Did you watch it, Bill?
No, I didn't watch it, but I heard it.
It just came out like this morning or something, midday or something.
He was able to move the Fly app around wherever he wanted it and make it as big as he wanted, and then still see his drone. And then one of the cool things I thought that he did is he also brought up the sectional chart. He put the sectional chart over here. He put the Fly app over here, and you can see the drone right in front of him.
And the Fly app was as big as his car in the goggles.
Now, what I don't understand yet, and he alluded to, he's going to make another video. He's going to show how he did it. So somehow, I don't get this. He had to go through his computer because I don't think the app is available for the Vision Pro. So, and it would also have to go through the remote controller, right? So it'll be interesting to see.
He got convoluted setup, Bill, is the short answer here. He did explain in detail, but he promised to do it in a future video.
Yeah, didn't show us how he did it, but it was fast. It looked to me, Ron, it looked like the Fly app was in a Safari window. Is what it looked like to me.
Right, and Marcus already tested the Apple Vision Pros, and for Marcus, who only has vision out of one eye, he was able to work them pretty well, right?
Yeah. So, Bill, what you do is to highlight something. It just literally follows your eye. Whatever your eye looks at, it highlights. Mm-hmm. And when you want to open something, you just put your fingers together like that, and it opens it up. And you can zoom and all that just with your hands. And you don't even have to hold them up here. They can be down in your lap wherever it's comfortable, and you can move all the windows around wherever you want. So, wow. So for instance, Bill, let's just say that I had let's say a sectional chart, but I didn't want it in my field of view while I was flying. I could move it around behind me. And if I physically turned around with the goggles on, that's where it would be. It would still be hanging there in midair.
And Bill can still maintain line of sight in the drone.
and you still can see through it. Now, the important thing to understand about that, it's not your actual eyes, it's cameras in the goggles that are looking. So does that fit the FAA description of, without any mechanical aids?
That's broad strokes for sure, but
yeah,
it would fit the thing that Billy knew where his drone was in the air, which is kind of the digging all the way down. He knew where his drone was in the air, and he would know if it was I don't know, an airplane was coming at it.
Exactly. It was really cool to see him do that, and I suspect, DJI is, well, we know they're working on some of their own goggles, but I also willing to bet that they're working on that Fly app to work in conjunction with the Vision Pro, and probably not as convoluted as what Billy had to do to make it work.
Now, I got some questions for you, Marcus. Okay, I was talking to Ron because I've had some queries, and I'm kind of curious myself about the Avata. Okay, now, I asked, what controller do you prefer for the Avata?
Well, I've never used the stick controller
The
FPV
controller too, I believe, is the tight.
I use the motion controller, and Bill, I've gotten so comfortable with it now. I can't imagine flying it with anything else. However, Ron, I know, prefers flying with the stick controller. So,
well, I'm split in the middle. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny says I got a cool shirt on, and he said in the chat there. So,
and we did bring up the key to that is if you ever wanted to fly the Avata in manual acro mode, you would need to get the FPV controller too. You cannot do that with the Motion 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. My next question for you about the Avata is what goggles? Because I know Ron says he uses the Integra goggles.
Well, I prefer I had the goggles too before when I had the FPV drone, and they were definitely bigger and heavier. And I can't remember what the next version was.
Yeah, I'm always confused. Both of them are called goggles too, but one's goggles 2, one's goggles V2. I don't know which
V2. I get it confused too, Ron. However, the Integra goggles, I like them. They're heavier. However, that's because of the battery, and the battery's in the back, so it balances the front and literally kind of takes some weight off a little
I've
bit.
never even used the center strap.
Right, me either.
Just with the side straps.
Same here. Some people, though, depending on the shape of your nose and everything else, they have to use that center strap to take the pressure off the bridge of their nose.
Yeah, I don't have what did John Coopy call it, the Italian nose? I don't have the Italian nose. I don't seem to have an issue.
Yeah. Good night, Ted.
And Johnny says Integra all the way, and I think Captain Joe does too. Good night, Ted.
Yeah, good night, Ted.
In fact, I talked to Ted about the Apple Vision Pro. I gave him a call the other day, and he's going to go in and demo them as well. So,
Bob Casey's pointing out Billy's put the link in
Billy's video, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Bob.
So all in all, I mean, I want to ask another question here. Okay, the only inklings I'm thinking, like you guys said last week, Lauren said probably April before we see anything. Okay.
Right.
Do you think we're going to see an improved Avata? And the reason I asked that question is because, I don't want to say it's old technology, but that thing, the technology around that moves so fast, and just, there's so many updates, and, with the discounts that they've had on it.
If I was you, Bill, I would wait to see if they come out with something new.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I'll be the other voice in the ear. We mentioned this last night in Drone Nation. Right now on Amazon, you can get the same Avata Explorer combo Marks I got for $889. So that's a pretty good deal. But I concur though. In April, we will definitely see April, sometime in the near future, we will see a new FPV drone from DJI, whether that's an Avata 2, an Avata Mini, or DJI FPV drone 2. I do not know, but something's coming from DJI FPV related.
Well, I'm sorry, Bill.
No. All I was going to say was, and I was telling Ron, I watched this guy. He had a great tutorial on it. It's like fantastic. It's like 45 minutes, like over 300,000 views on it. The guy did a fantastic job. I was very impressed with that. I mean, and he showed manual or acro mode and how to adjust the controller so it doesn't stay in the middle. When you're using the two controller and everything. Just in it looked, even with the hand control, it looked really easy to maneuver and apply. So so that's kind of like whenever Uncle Sam decides to give me some money back for my taxes, that may be something I might consider. But I'm going to wait until we see what's going on in April. Go ahead.
The downside to the Avata. In fact, flying it the other day makes me want to get it out again and fly it some more. However, the downside is what we've talked about in the past. I typically, when I'm out flying, I'm by myself. Sarah doesn't necessarily like to go out with me and so forth when I'm flying. It's when you don't have somebody there with you, it can be a little bit disconcerting because you don't know what's going on around you and so forth. So anyway, just
I mean, I don't tend to fly the Avata that far away from me. So when I do hear something around me, I have the Avata come back and I check it out from the air.
Right.
Like the Avata has good signal, Bill. You could fly the Avata as far as you could, some of the other drones on OcuSync. Two, I think, is it two Avata? Yes. Is it 2 or 3?
I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. I can tell you this, Ron. I flew it out the other day when I flew. I kind of wanted to test that, right? It never, just like you said, I've never flown it very far at all.
Yeah.
But I flew it out almost not quite a kilometer the other day, and it was fine. It was perfect. I've
never had any signal issues, but again, but where I push the signal, Bills, I fly it low, so a lot of stuff gets in the way or whatever. I have to be careful, but I've never taken it far enough away from me that I can't just zip it back in a few seconds and see if anybody's around me or what's going on around me from the air.
Right. Now, one of the things I want to kind of close things out with, the bill to effectively ban DJI drones from U.S. clears Congress committee hearing. Okay. All right. And I'm going to put up the article and then we're going to talk about this here.
I knew the bill's name last night, but I already forget it.
Okay. The Countering CCP Drones Act, okay, is what it's called. Text seeks a tweak of the Secure and Trusted Communications Network Act of 2019, specifically prohibit DJI tech from using ubiquitous FCC and other government-owned infrastructure that UAVs habitually rely on to interface with pilots. Operators would then presumably have the option of depending upon the totally reliable, consistent, and eminently sane Elon Musk and his Starlink network as backup if they had the millions to pay for it. Okay. All right. The legislation would add Chinese drone company DJI, the FCC's covered list, meaning DJI Technologies, be prohibited from operating on U.S. communications infrastructure. Her statement read. Okay. And then the article, we're not going to get into the article. I'm going to let you guys read that on your own. Some of the things, it passed a committee today, but, one of the things I want to remind everybody, and we're going to go back to basic civics 101, how a bill becomes a law. All right. They go through a committee. All right. And this hasn't even, and people are starting to get a little panicky here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because of the language of the bill. Okay. Because it's passed a committee, it has a huge number of hurdles before you really want to start shaking in your boots. Okay. Number one, it has to go to the whole House. Okay. Now it went to a subcommittee. It's probably going to go to a full on committee. Then it's going to go to the whole House. All right. And the House has to pass it. Okay. If the House doesn't pass it, it's dead. It's not going to go anywhere. All right. Then it has to go to the Senate, and the Senate has to pass it before it becomes a law. This is basic civics 101 kind of thing. Okay. The Senate doesn't have as many committees as the House does, but, it can get bogged down. People can add things to it, is what we normally call pork or something that they want in this bill that doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay. It's just a nightmare. We won't really go there. But what I'm saying is this. Okay. It's a long ways away from becoming a law. So number one, don't push your panic button. Don't go selling all your DJI drones and cameras and everything. Okay. or Feeney stuff, okay? Just don't, or Autel, okay? Don't go pushing that panic button. Number one, all right. And number two, and this is the whole crux for me, okay? And I was even at the point, because I know I think Elise Stefaniak, she's representative from New York, who's
New York.
sponsoring the bill. I was thinking about hitting her on Twitter and say, would you like to be on my show and tell us, what's going on here? But of course I'll get, they'll turn me down because they don't want to tell us what's going on. Because how many, and I've lost count.
Bill.
Marcus has the drone that beats the bill.
There you go. You're all set.
I'm just kidding.
You're all set.
And he also has the Paranafi. The French drone will be okay too.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, the other thing, the big thing with this is, how many different outside agencies, and I think they had Price Waterhouse, a couple other independent big A accounting firms.
Yeah.
Look at this, okay? And there's no data there, okay? There's nothing. It was a nothing burger. Nothing.
Here's the thing. If you like what I'm starting, I got 10 thoughts going on in my head at the same time, and they're competing, and I'm an old man, so that makes it tough. But every app that is on your phone accesses all your data, right? And just everywhere you go, everything you do, you got a health app on your phone, all those other little game apps and all that little stuff, they access all that data. So there's a lot more places that, TikTok, for instance, which we all know is a Chinese. How about Temu? If you got the Temu app on your phone, trust me, the CCP knows everything about you. They know your heart rate. They know all that stuff. So this whole drone thing, it really is just for show.
Why is the only thing Chinese being picked on is drones?
Is drones. And now one of the arguments that I will say that may be against DJI is, listen, if they are working with the Chinese military to repress the Uyghurs and do some other things, well, that's bad. And, something needs to be done about that. The flip side of that coin is that other company, Autel, they make no bones about it. They are all in on building military drones for the CCP. They say it. They're not even.
Well, I mean, if you're a Chinese-based company and your military wants to build drones, why wouldn't you?
Just like Boeing builds airplanes for us. You get the Chinese still buy Boeing 737s. I know
Skydio has a government contract, so that's not unusual. But
you have to remember.
I'm going to flip the argument completely around from what Marcus said, though. Okay, if the Chinese military really wanted a sensitive infrastructure like that in the U.S., why in the world would they wait for some random pilot like me and Marcus to fly over and have somebody watch, millions of hours worth of video? Oh, there's the video we need. It'd be easier to just send a spy over and get it right away rather than wait for years for some hobbyists to fly over that infrastructure. The worst way to get important data would be to wait for one of us guys to fly our drone over it.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, okay, and I was talking to Valerie and trying to explain things to her. The only time I will send DJI data is in one of these instances. One, when you first get your drone and you're clicking all the agreements, okay, you have the option to click to not to send data to them. Okay, I always select that. All right. The other is this: I have an issue. Okay. DJI is asking me for my log. I will be more than happy to send them my log if they're going to, and they will. And they looked at things and they found things for me. Okay. Those are the only instances where, I know in any kind of a semblance, way, shape, or form that I've sent them data. Okay. And you know what? We hear a nothing burger. And you know what? It's across both party lines. It doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat. Okay. They're all talking about this, but none of them, and I mean zero, have come out and said, oh, well, they're providing data to the Chinese Communist Party and in their army and all this stuff. Nobody said a thing. Nothing. Not
Bill,
one
it's
word.
always it could happen. It might happen.
Could
It's
happen.
always
Might
mights and
happen.
possibilities and whatever.
Well, you know, okay, and I want to back up here because one of the things that they did ban here in the United States was Huawei, okay,
Yes.
and their phones. All right, they did ban them. All right, which is
But they
incredible.
did find a chip in those devices that that should have been there.
Right. Now, here's the other thing, okay? You know, if they're all hot and uptight about DJI, what about Apple? Okay? Apple builds all their phones are built over in China.
Well, Apple's lobbyists are have more pull down there in Washington than DJI's do.
Let's be fair. China is severely limiting Apple phones in China now. In other words, there's a lot of companies that if you have an Apple phone, they don't even allow you to bring it on site in China. And certainly any government thing, if you work for the Chinese government at all, you can't have you can have an Apple phone, but you can't use it.
Right.
You know, and I did an article a little bit earlier, and it was from Drone XL from High Kesteloo, but Warren, Michigan. They just spent $80,000. They got an M30 thermal and several other DJI drones, okay, to aid them and help them with firefighting, okay? You know, and it's been shown. And I remember when Romeo Dersher was with DJI, he would keep a count and a tally worldwide of how many people were saved by drones, okay? You know, it's really just a great life-saving tool, okay? Beyond everything else that you're thinking of.
Well, we can distill it down to this. If they have some sort of evidence, a smoking gun, present it to us. Just tell it to us. If I thought that those DJI drones behind me were harming the country that I love, my country, they wouldn't have to put them on any list. I'd take them out and burn them in the trash can tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but show us, tell us what it is that's doing the harm.
It's the old money. It's the old movie with Tom Cruise and Cuba Gooding. Show me the money, okay?
Yeah, and unfortunately, in this country, you know, a lot of people have lost faith in what their politicians are telling them. So, why in this case would they be more truthful than they are in other cases?
Yeah. I mean, you know, and then, you know, Jay Bird brought up a good point. That spy balloon that came across the United States from China last year. Okay. I mean, you know,
the one they shot down the way out of the country.
Yeah. By the time it reached the East Coast, they ended up shooting it down. All right. Okay. You know, I'm going to say this. All right. Technology today, the way it is. Okay. And I'm going back. We just saw a movie. I don't know if you saw it, A Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks. And it was about
what's a good one? Yeah,
it's a good movie about Francis Gary Powers flying the U-2. Right. Okay, back in the day, that's how we got that data. It was by flying those U-2 flights. Okay, now we have satellites and drones to get us the same information. Okay, but back in the day, that's how we got that. Imagine how 100-fold improved we are at that right now. Okay, with everything that's up there, with all the information that's up there. Okay, the CCP has as much information as they want. And you know what? And I'm going to say this. Okay, we have information on them too. Okay, it's just like it's a wash. Okay?
Yeah. Well, what could somebody's mini drone really tell the CCP they don't know already?
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's at a point. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. It's beyond comprehension. Why this goes on, and senators and congressmen keep getting pressed and they say nothing. They just are mum. Nobody said a word on it. Nobody. Okay.
Hey, Bill, I think the most important thing here,
you hit the nail, Marcus.
Okay, say, Bill, this actually got passed and went through, right? They got their way. Now, what would that affect drones that have already received their FCC approval, like the drones we have right now?
Yeah. So, Ron, if I read someplace, and I don't remember, maybe it's in that article that Bill's has, but it mentioned it being retroactive. So that means that they would withdraw those certifications. Now, I don't think that would stop you from being able to fly your drone. other than it would. But Bill's the radio guy. It would be illegal, wouldn't it, Bill?
Oh
Because,
yeah. Oh yeah.
you
Bill,
could still
Bill,
buy
you
it.
think that's retro? You think that's legally? Well, you think that could actually happen that they take away FCC approves that were already given out? Is that unheard of, or does that happen all the time?
Boy, you know what? That is so. As far I'm not a lawyer. Marcus's brother could probably better be able to jump on something like this. But I would say they would have an uphill battle, and they would be in court for years.
What about a giant class action suit from all drone users against the government to reimburse us for the money that we've spent on drones over the years?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, current DJI drones we own.
No, so Ron, step back from that. You know who has more juice than us as regular consumers is those corporate companies, all of the power companies and stuff that own all their DJI Matrice drones that they inspect their power lines with, let alone the fire departments, police departments, and they're the ones
that could be the world's biggest class action suit or whatever.
That's why I'm with Bill. I think it's DOA. I think there's people making a lot of noise. You know why? Because it's popular as a politician to say you're tough on China, so they can make all these headlines and stuff. But I don't think it's going to go.
It's a season there. People are running for office, and they'd rather run on that than the real issues.
It's an election year.
Yeah,
exactly.
they don't want to run on the real issues because the real issues are stickier. No, it's so few drone flyers out there that they're not going to lose many votes going against drone flyers.
But no, it's a great point. No, you're exactly right, Ron. I mean, it's something that's important to us, but the average person on the street, they have no clue.
Compared to the real issues, it's a nothing burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and you guys brought. This was absolutely great, and I kind of want to get out there, and I think the message that I think we want to get out to everybody: don't panic, okay? Don't go pulling out what little hair you have left, okay? This isn't
what's on top of my ear. I'd like to pull those out.
Bill, just a little quick thing on our show. They say Bill Gray said he already talked to his senator about killing the bill, and Bob Dempsey's talked to three senators and one. What's the other one? A congressman.
Well, Captain Joe Merica said he talked to Steve Scalise, who's his representative. He said he's voting no. He's going to vote against it. So
good.
I don't think this is. I think for a number of things, it's just not gonna come to fruition. But I think it's better. You stand out. You're puffing your chest. I'm against the CCP. Okay, looks good for the year. Okay, and you know what? When it comes time to vote, how much you want to bet? It's not even going to make it out of the House. Okay, I can tell you that right now. Okay,
right, and it's a good soundbite of whether it passes or not. Oh yeah, I'm against it.
And I'm going to say this too. Believe it or not, okay, it makes good drone videos. Okay, us talking about it.
People fired up about it.
Everybody else keep people fired up about stuff. But you know what? Folks, don't worry.
I mean, here's another question for you, Bill, real quick before we wrap up. What's our biggest threat to drones? Karens, running around saying we can't fly, or people like Stefan going after us in the House and the Senate? What is the real biggest deterrent to drones? We had I won't even name any names. We had two famous people in the community do stuff recently and said, well, they're killing the hobby. They're killing the hobby by these reckless flights. Are they killing the hobby or the politicians? The politicians don't even know about these. All they know about is the CCP.
Can I answer that, Ron?
Go ahead, Marcus.
You know what? It's not your local Karen, and it's probably not the federal government. What you need to worry about is your local governments making rules that say you can't take off within the city limits, or your county saying, hey, now this county is a no drone zone. Just like New York did. Just what New York did. You got to go get a permit if you want to fly or whatever. Those are the kind of things that we got to be more vigilant about than anything.
So that's a third entity we got to worry about then.
And you know what? And I'm going to agree with Marcus. I think he's spot on here. And I want to throw a little caveat in here, okay? This is a plug for my show for tomorrow night for Ham Radio Basics.
Okay. What time is that show, Bill?
Several of my other guys, we're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow night. There's a bill coming before Congress that probably is going to pass. Okay. And what it is, it's legislation that the FCC will allow you, if you have an HOA, okay, like I'm in an HOA, to be able to erect an antenna on your property for emergency preparedness. Okay. What a better scenario I have. Okay. What do we have that happens every August through,
Oh,
January?
hurricane season.
Okay. And, it's legit communications preparations kind of a thing. Okay. So, and they're saying it's going to pass. All right. Which is a good thing. That's a great thing for me, because I was going to have to disguise my antenna as a flagpole. I don't have to worry about that now. Okay. I can go out there, dig my line, pull it up to the house, drill a hole in the side of the house. Boom, done. Okay. I'm ready to go.
Let me give you one more thing. You brought up the HOAs too. So I know there's a lot of HOAs that ban drones, right? So you can't fly. Well, the only authority that an HOA has is within their own. They don't have a police department there. All they can do is send you a fine, right, within your own HOA. So if you want to fly if your HOA says no drones, they can it's almost not worth trying to do. They would have to catch you actually taking off with your drone. Their inspector that goes around looking at houses and looking at violations, they would actually have to catch you in the act of taking off and landing your drone in your HOA. So I'm just telling you, if that happens in your HOA, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Well, see, and that's one of the things that, it's like supposedly just like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that kind of stuff in the HOA. All right. You know what? It's a moot point. They have bigger.
Or you could just run for HOA president and then kill all that stuff in the bud.
Well, yeah, we have a big to do election coming up in next week. Okay, and it was real interesting. There's, I think, like 10 people are running for 5 positions on the HOA board. All right, so we're brand new because we just finished out the development. Okay, every home's been sold. All right, listen to this. This one guy, he sent his qualifications in a nice placard to every resident. We have over 500 residents. Multiply that times the cost of first class postage. Okay. He spent some good coin getting this out to everybody in the community. All right. My wife
got some funding for his campaign.
Yeah. There you go. Well, and here's the thing with that. All right. There's a lot of bigger fish to fry. For example, one of the things that we're concerned about here, 2 things that I'm concerned about. Our entry gate, we have those plastic gates that go up and down, okay? And people plow through them all the time. They get broken, all that stuff, all right? Well, they decided to go ahead and enforce the rules that you have to drive by. We have a barcode on the right side of the car. It scans and opens up the gate for you automatically. But if you don't, you got to pull up to the clubhouse and you got to be on the list, all right? Everybody has a list out there that we put out there of people that are accepted to come, like Amazon or Instacart or things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a done deal. The community right next to us, which was built by the same builder, what they ended up doing was using, I'll call it, for lack of a better term, one of those wrought iron gates. But what it does is it cuts all the way across. So it cuts off access on the sidewalks as well, too. Okay. So in other words, you got to be a resident here to get in. Now, the other big thing that I have here, we only have one entrance and exit point in the community. Now, there's a couple ones that could be used in an emergency, but I want one of those. And one of the things I want to see from the HOA is to make one of those an exit only. Because if you only have one exit, and say, for example, we get an order to evacuate because of a hurricane, it's doubtful because of where we're at, but it could happen. All right. Can you imagine the quagmire that we would have of 500 people trying to get out of this development at once? So, yeah. So there's my 2 cents worth. So any closing thoughts here, guys?
Springtime's coming. Get out there and fly. We got some good weather coming up, so I'm looking forward to getting out and doing some flying again.
No signs of spring here at the Jersey Shore, but I did get out to fly a little bit today. Had a couple assignments to get done. So this it's a spring for me. Will be a South Florida drone meetup in about a month and a half.
That's going to be great, man. I'm getting excited about it.
I started out the show, You know, I saw Captain Ray was on last night. We're still wishing you well, Captain Ray, and take your recovery one day at a time. Okay, don't do too much. You know, that's just a piece of advice, because I'm speaking from the standpoint my dad had both his hips replaced, and you know, slow but steady. And I know you're anxious and you want to get out there and enjoy things, but we want to be able to enjoy you at the South Florida Drone Meetup. So
Ray's already flown, Bill.
Oh, I know. I saw.
Yeah.
You know, I watched a little bit of your show last night about that. So, but Ray, our well wishes for you, and hope you have a great recovery. And we want you to be 100% for the South Florida Drone Meetup. For me, Florida. Okay, here's my little thing. Florida, we're all impressed with your impressions of winter. Okay, all right. You know, we'll send a note to your teacher to say you've done a good job. Now you can go back to your regularly scheduled temperatures. All right. Tonight's going down to 4. It's going down to 43 tonight. It's, you know, we're going to have, it'll be like 48 in the morning, of course. And of course, it happens to fall on a morning that I'm driving into work. So, you know, it's just insanely.
Just pretend like you're back in Columbus or Pittsburgh, Bill.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, you know, if I wanted this, I told Valerie, I can go up to Columbus or Pittsburgh. Okay. You know, not in Tampa. No. So we're going to have a little talk with Florida's weather here. So, all right, guys. It's a great day to fly. Take care. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Good night, everyone.